Hi everybody, thanks so much for tuning in today for my how-to tutorial. Today I will be showing you how I do a backfill as well as replace one of the nails that she broke. I didn't do the original set, but I am going to go ahead and do the fill-in and also a really cute design at the end of the video. Right now what I'm doing is taking my 4-in-1 drill and I'm just removing all of that gel polish as well as the design. I am also sort of reshaping them, kind of thinning them out a bit. That way I can go ahead and lay the apex where it's supposed to be. As of right now, I think she grew out her nails about 3 weeks. So the apex, which is the strength of the nail, has gone from back towards the cuticle area and is now getting more towards the midsection. So I just want to go ahead and flatten that out some, reshape these a little bit. All of the products that I'm going to talk about today, I am going to try to leave as many of them as I can in the description box below. Okay, now we're onto that middle finger that I said that she broke. She broke it very cleanly at the free edge. It doesn't look red. It's not swollen. There's no pain or blood. You can't see any dried blood or anything. Looks like it was a pretty clean break. So like I said earlier in the video, I'm just going to go ahead and thin it out as much as I possibly can. Then I'm going to go ahead and take an acetone soaked cotton pad, put that on her nail, and then just wrap it in foil. I know that some people do the method where you just kind of soak it in a dish, and I prefer not to. By the time I finish going through the rest of my process and come back to this nail, it'll already be soaked off, and I'll show you how I remove that later on in the video. Okay, now I'm taking my cuticle pusher and I'm going to go ahead and push those cuticles back firmly, but without causing any discomfort or pain for your client. Make sure you're aware of their body language if they're slightly tugging at their hands, just in general, but especially during this step. Some people are a little bit more sensitive in their cuticle area. Some people, I do trim their cuticles down as well. Hers are not very long, even though it's been about 3 weeks since she got her last set. Honestly, they weren't very long. I just want to make sure I expose all of that cuticle area that's attached to her actual nail plate, so that way I can clean that off, which is what I'm doing here. I'm going to go ahead and take that. It's like a round tip drill bit. Like I said, I'll leave it in the description box if I can find it. I think I got it on Amazon. I'm not sure. But that specific drill bit, I love, love, love it. It gets right up in that cuticle area and cleans all of that out. Now, this drill bit, I have seen people use it physically, like on the actual cuticle skin instead of trimming it. I don't personally like to use it like that. I just like to get that cuticle that's attached to the nail plate off, as well as kind of lift that cuticle skin up that is there, so that way I can get a nice clean line and not touch the cuticle. Alrighty, now I'm going to take and put on my 180 sanding band. I got these in a pack from Amazon. I always, always, always use fresh, clean cuticle pusher, nippers, as well as sanding band, nail file, and buffer for cleanliness purposes. I am taking this sanding band and I'm just going along the cuticle area, removing any of the additional cuticle that may have been left behind, taking off that natural shine from the nail plate, and just making sure that it's seam lined from the natural nail onto the acrylic, so that when I lay the new bead of acrylic, it'll just slide right down the real smooth nail. When you have like bumps and lumps and craters and stuff, I found that it takes more time because you're making more beads to try to fill in those areas where the bead, it laid down, but it filled in that hole. So now you still got another crater hole that you got to fix. So just keeping things as smooth and clean as you can through the whole process actually does save you more time, and it creates just a better looking process. Your clients love that. They want to see a nice clean look. That's the most satisfying part of this, aside from, of course, the design at the end. Okay, and look how quickly and easily that acrylic is coming off of that nail. Yes. Honestly, low key, that's pretty satisfying to watch it come off. Look at it, look at it, look at the piece. Yes. Okay, so see how quickly that came off with that foil method. Very quickly, I'm going to go ahead and push back that cuticle. I'm not going to go in with the round tip drill bit, just because with my 180 sanding band, I can just quickly go right over this. There's no actual acrylic nail in the way, kind of hindering me from getting to all that cuticle area. So I'm just very, very gently, because we've done a soak off especially, very gently removing any leftover cribbly crumblies, and also just getting rid of any natural shine, making sure we have a nice clean natural nail bed. Then I'm going to go ahead, take off all the dust, and now I'm going to replace it. So that you seen, I hit the camera, so every angle after this is probably going to get a little weird. I'm so sorry. It's been a while since I've even done a YouTube video, so I was just happy to even be able to get through this. So you'll see me here. I'm just sizing up the nail. You want to make sure that your tips are reaching at the free edge or very close to the free edge, depending on how much natural nail your client has. And you want to make sure that it reaches from sidewall to sidewall. Now I'm going to take my very, very pretty scissors, and after measuring them to get the correct length, I'm going to just trim these down, trim off the sides a little bit. This definitely helps with all of your shapes aside from square. If you have coffin, tapered, stiletto, any other shape other than square, you want to cut off your sides so that way it eases on your filing time. Here, I'm going to go ahead and just reshape the nails because they've obviously gotten rounded, etc. I used to skip this step when I first started doing nails, thinking that I was saving myself time. Oh, I'll just file it later. It saves you so much more time by filing these correctly first, because then when you lay the acrylic, you're basically just coloring in the lines. You've already established your very nice shape, so you just continue to stay with that shape. So that is just one of my tips and tricks, but now I'm going to go ahead and just continue this with all the nails, just reshaping, making sure I have a nice coffin shape with very clean lines, keeping my file at a 90-degree angle, always up, up, and straight on the sidewalls as well as the free edge. Okay, now we're going to a very important step. You want to make sure that you measure your nails. Both hands should be similar in the shape as well as the length. Clients will notice, so don't think you'll get away with it. Okay, now I'm going to take my Valentino dehydrator and bond. I'm going to place the dehydrator first in the area, only the natural nail area. That is going to take away all of any leftover oils, anything like that. Then I'm going to take the bond, and that's going to create kind of a sticky layer only on the natural nail, again, making sure that you're getting all of that area so you create a nice seal. Then I'm going to start with, this is kind of like a small bead. You'll see I took some of the liquid out so that way it's a little bit drier of a bead. I'll put it in the cuticle area, kind of bounce it in the cuticle area. Now, you do not want to actually touch the cuticles. You just want to stay in the cuticle area as close as you can get. Then you're just going to tap and pull all the way down the nail so that acrylic gets to the end. Make sure you have a nice flat, square end or clean end, depending on what shape you're doing. That tap and pull method with a nice clean wet brush is going to make sure that you have a nice smooth nail, and it's going to eliminate a lot of that filing time later on. Whether you use 1, 2, 5, 10 beads, as long as the finished product is a smooth nail with a nice apex towards the cuticle area. You also want to make sure that your brush is not touching the bottom of your monomer dish. Sometimes that will cause gunking in your brushes, and you'll wonder why all of a sudden your brush is full of stuff, and that's usually why. You want to make sure also too, again, that you're cleaning your brush a lot, making sure with the tap and pull method, it keeps you from mushing the actual acrylic into the brush, because you're just tapping and pulling with a nicely wet brush. You don't want a soaking wet brush, but you definitely want to keep it moist. You do not want a dry brush while you're doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and just repeat that on all the fingers and continue on with the fill-in. Now I'm just going to take my emery board and just go ahead and re-clean up those lines. Because we did this in the beginning and we colored inside of our lines, you should be fine. This should not take very long. This is just to clean it up just a teeny bit and make sure that all your edges are nice and clean. Once you do that, you want to go ahead and take that 4-in-1 drill bit again. You're going to use the top portion of this drill bit just to go around the cuticle area. You want to make sure you have a nice clean seal from the where the acrylic meets the natural nail bed. Do not file this too much. If your clients are coming back for fill-ins, or you can just blatantly see a ring of fire, which is the real red solid line that goes around the cuticle area, then you're filing too much on the nail bed, on the natural nail bed. So you want to take this tip area of this drill bit and just go over the nail as well to get off any bumps, lumps, anything that you may or may not see but you can feel, just to ensure you have a nice smooth surface to work with. Okay, and now I'm going to take my little bitty buffer. I love this little buffer. Everybody makes fun of me for it, but I love it. I'm going to take and remove, just buff out, smooth over any of those lines that are created from the drill bit. You really won't have any because if you use that drill bit correctly, the top portion area, it'll give you a nice, smooth, clean feel. You won't have to buff too much. Then I'm going to take an alcohol-soaked cotton pad, no lint-free, or it is lint free, sorry. And I'm just gonna wipe down all the nails, all the extra dust particles, everything, so I make sure I have a very, very clean surface to work with for the design. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get all my colors together. I only use Valentino no chip polish. Then this is actually one of the only polishes I use that is not, this is an OPI, like a blush pink color. I'm just using this on the nails, just one coat, very thin, just to give it a little bit of natural color for the designs that are going to have a little bit of peek-a-through. Then I'm going to go ahead and get started with the design. This pink nail, I'm going to do pink on this one. Eventually I'll do polka dots on it. Because the camera moved and I have bad angles, I don't show much of the designing. Because you can't really see it, and you see a lot of my hair and stuff. So, but I am taking this white. Now I'm gonna go ahead and create the flowers. Okay, and for the daisy, what I do is I do a touch and drag method, basically. So it creates like the fatter end piece to a skinnier middle area. Once I cure this, then I'll put the yellow dot that goes in the middle. Trust me, it's easier just to cure it and then put the yellow dot on, instead of just trying to do it all at one time. This one was so pretty. This is the fire one, and you can't see it really. You can kind of see where I'm making so that's basically going to look like a C, an upside down C sort of. And then I just create sort of like an hourglass shape from it and create some more flame lines to come down. This right here, just wiggly sort of flame lines on the sides. Now I'm just going to fill it and make it a little thicker because I am going to put blue over it. You'll see some of the orange as kind of like an outline. This is probably the easiest way to do it. And then I'll just put that blue over it. So you'll have the orange peekaboo, and then it'll have the really, really cute, fun, glittery blue on top of it. Okay, can I just say that this right here, this squiggly freaking line was so hard. Oh my gosh, I had to edit out so many. I just, for the life of me, mind you, I draw characters, and I just, for the life of me, could not get this freaking squiggly line to work. And then when when I finally did get it to work or look good or whatever, we messed it up. So you'll see me redoing this all over again. Mind you, this is like the 4th time that I've done this prior to doing it for like the fifth time later on in the video. So you'll see this again, but I'm just kind of, from what I've learned, it's easier just to create C's on the sides and then just sort of connect them through the middle with like a squiggly line. Either way, for some reason, this was just like so hard. Oh my God. But like I said, you'll see it again. But yeah, just C's and squiggly lines. So this is the part where I draw the checkerboard area. It's going to be in this blue shiny polish, obviously, but I just take it at the cuticle area right directly in the middle, and I go ahead and make the first square. So that way I know for sure that it's exactly where it needs to be, and all the checkers from there will be straight and even on the nail. And this finger is going to be one of the orange and white yin yang fingers. I'm just going to make a S formation in the middle of the nail. And then I'm just going to fill in one side with orange. And then I'll do the white on the other side. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this blue polish and put it in the flame itself. So you'll still see the orange, like I said before, you'll still see the orange outline on the outside of it. But you'll mostly see the blue, and that orange peekaboo will be super hot like the flame it is. This ends up being super, super cute. I really love how this turned out. I never thought to really do a peekaboo like this before. I'm really glad I did. I'll probably be doing this more often, playing around with some colors. Now that the orange dried is cured on the one side of the yin yang nails, I'm just going to follow that line. This is actually super easy when you do it this way because it kind of creates like a groove, and you just follow it with the white. And then I'll fill in the other side with the white paint as well, cure this, and then later on in the video I'll start doing the dots on them. Okay, now I'm just putting on that last finger, the clear polish on the last finger. And guys, when I tell you these turned out so freaking beautiful, oh my goodness, I am so ecstatic at how well they turned out. Please do like, share, comment below, let me know some videos you want to see, and I will see you guys next time.